Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We'll give a few minutes for some people to trickle in, and then we will kick things off. Probably best to put my phone on airplane mode for this one.
Good reminder.
All right, up to 35. Can we get to 50?
Let's do it.
All right, we will kick things off officially. It's 1:33 now. We'll kick things off officially at 1:35.
Fantastic.
While we are waiting, we are excessively looking for participant feedback. So for those of you that are attending this webinar, we want to hear from you. We want to hear the good, the bad, the ugly. We want to talk about whose mustache is better. We really want to get into it. So feel free to share any insights after the fact.
It's an important question.
Very important. Amongst the leading D2C needs these days. All right, a couple more are trickling in. Hmm. All right, that's 135 for me. So let's jump into things. Hello, everybody. My name is Luca Tarmina. I am the new senior partner manager here at Northbeam. I am lucky enough to be hosting this webinar over the next 2 weeks while Brian is away and traveling. In a lot of ways, I kind of feel like the new lead singer from Journey, Arnel Pineda, because when I was actually with my former agency, I was always watching this webinar to provide insights to the clients that I was working with. And now here I am as a Northbeamer that's hosting it. So it's pretty surreal. I do think the Rockstar comparison is justified because everybody that has been following along Brian Bumgarner knows that that guy is a rock star. That said, thankfully, I am not here alone. I actually have a secret weapon with me, an industry titan. We have DeGrange here, the CEO and growth marketer of Roundbar Labs, who will be closing out this webinar. But for now, I'll let Ty say hello.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me, Luca. Thanks to Northbeam, and excited to dive in with everyone.
Yeah, my pleasure. Before we jump into the whole thing, I do want to give a plug for our D2C Media Buyer Summit that's going to happen on September 7th, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. This is where we are going to dig extra deep with a lot of industry leaders to really be able to speak about what's going on in D2C today. It's a free event. It's totally worth your time. There's going to be so much knowledge shared from brand owners to Northbeamers, creative strategists, founders of agencies, founders of technologies, everybody really kind of speaking to what they know and what they specialize in the industry. We're even going to have Jon Snow, the king of the North, will be at this Media Buyer Summit. So please join. We'd love to see you there. As a former, when working with an agency, when working with your brand owners want to know what's going on in this ever-changing landscape. What is happening now? How can I stay ahead of the curve? It's attending these summits. It's attending these webinars that are really going to give you the information you need to know to provide the accurate insights as to sort of what's happening in the industry. So please join now. Look forward to seeing you there. With that, we are now going to jump into the data. So let's look at things and see how things have been going since the last week. So as we digest this data, we see a relatively stable transition from last week to this week. And that's actually really opportunistic at this time of year. This time of year is when we are reloading and we are charging up for what's going to happen for Q4, what's going to happen for Black Friday, and what's going to happen for the holidays. So a stable environment today enables you with the ability to really allow the best of what you have to emerge. You want to know what are your winning creatives. You want to know what's the infrastructure that you're going to be bringing in to this very complex season. You want to have the right arsenal of weapons so that when you enter the premium time of year, the year where buyers have the greatest intent, you want to make sure that your landing pages, that your checkout cart, that your marketing partners, that your affiliates, that everything is locked and loaded so you can make the most out of the time of year that you're making a major investment. You know, to have a callback to last week's webinar where they dove into the difference between Q4 and Q5. And for those of you that didn't check in on last week, Q5 is what we call the time that's just, we'll call it like December 15th to around like January 20th. And this is when CPMs notoriously drop because everybody, for the most part, has spent everything they have on that holiday push. So there's a benefit, there's a unique opportunity that comes with Q5. And that is for brands, perhaps newer brands or brands that have not really made that major investment into D2C. That's the opportunity for those brands to kind of take advantage of those low CPMs, get a chance to put their creatives out there, and get a chance to see really how their industry or target demographics are going to be interacting with their brand campaigns, with their ads, with their infrastructure. So as we look at now this is the time for Q4 brands that have their infrastructure in place to really take advantage of the upcoming purchasing cycle that is ahead. And with that, let's dive into the data. So we don't see much variability happening across the board. For the most part, everything's staying within about 5% of the change. Electronics are hitting just over 7%, 7.6%. And that makes sense, right? Back to school is on the way. I see a big drop in the baby industry, and I'm actually very curious as to how that correlates to the time of year in which babies are made the most, aka the holiday season. So looking 9 months back, I think everybody that they're having their babies now, so they got everything from those baby showers, and now they're using that products, get ready for a surge to come as that increases from there. Home goods as well. This is a really kind of common time of year where people are moving out of their apartments, out of their homes, and moving into kind of their next chapter. They got to hunker down for the winter. Maybe they're moving out of the city. That makes a lot of sense. Jewelry, not many people are proposing right now, so I could see how that's happening as well. Jumping into the metrics. So again, going back, this is a great time to test. We see CPMs on Meta are down right now, and we know that it is inevitable that those are going to increase. Not only are CPMs down, but CAC is up. So this is a great time to really kind of get a chance to test your creatives, expose your brands to new users for the first time, particularly those brand owners that have, large commitments, as in like they're a high cost product, or perhaps their product or service requires a high degree of education. This is a great time to begin that process of communication now, so that as the buyers are moving towards the buying intent season, they will know your brand. They will have had a chance to see multiple campaigns. They will be in your email and SMS funnel. They will see the affiliates that they believe in speaking to the quality of your product. And therefore, when it's time to buy their brother a gift because they got him for Secret Santa, they know what they're getting. So this is what we're seeing. With that, we are now going to jump in to talking things out with Ty. This is a great opportunity. Ty, thank you so much for being here. Let's start things off with just a general introduction. Tell us who you are, what you do. Tell us about Round Barn Labs.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm here in beautiful downtown Austin, Texas, trying to stay cool. Been running Round Barn Labs now for 9 years. We're coming up on our 10-year anniversary in April of next year, which is kind of wild.
Congrats.
Time flies when you're having fun. Thank you. Yeah, we are a boutique, heavy data, heavy insights, heavy impact team. We come from a mix of paid media, affiliate, influencer, in-house agency experiences, and we love working with great innovative brands, a lot of D2C comm, some B2B, but definitely heavy D2C comm, and love working with best-in-class tools. Go figure, enter Northbeam.
Hey.
And we love solving challenging problems for clients. We've really seen an awesome excitement in terms of the affiliate space. So excited to dive all that stuff with you today, Luca.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think the affiliate space is commonly overlooked, particularly by media buyers, even more particular by media buyers that are working within agencies. A lot of times in agencies, media buyers are just laser focused on their ad campaigns, whether they're focusing on the creative side of things or the analytical side of things. And they don't really have a chance to take that step back and look at sort of the whole funnel and how their campaigns are actually supporting affiliate marketing and so on. So, with that, let's just take one major step back and hit it with affiliate marketing 101. How do you define
Yeah,
affiliate marketing, just so everybody's on the same first page?
yeah,
And then we'll get deep from there.
yeah. I think one simple way to think about it is you've got an advertiser or brand. They're kind of paying the bills. They're setting the terms. They are connecting to a network, usually like an impact or commission junction. And then you have a partner or an influencer or an affiliate that's hosting the link, that's promoting a Nike or an Allbirds or a Peloton, and they're getting paid on a cost per sale or a cost per lead basis, a valued action. That's the kind of mechanics of how it works. Affiliate oftentimes gets called a channel when in reality it's kind of a lever or a mechanism or a channel of channels. You've got a way to basically say, hey, we're going to pay out on a percentage of a sale or a flat fee per lead or a flat fee per sale. And that could be across multiple verticals. You could show up on a deal site, you could be on a great influencer, you could be on a celebrity, you could be featured on the Wall Street Journal buy side or on BuzzFeed or on Forbes. So it varies. You're going to see your ad or your announcement or integration or your review or your gift guide show up across all kinds of different touch points potentially.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And affiliate marketing is just so powerful, particularly for brands that are trying to get their brand going. Because if you have your margins accounted for, if you know what the LTV is for your customer, and you have a chance to connect with an affiliate to become an ambassador, an evangelist for your brand, then you are able to liken that affiliate with your brand and still maintain profitable margins while you are building that culture. And I think so often we look back to kind of like the former days, the pre iOS 14 days, and things of that nature. And D2C kind of captured this reputation of like the quick win. How do I find some magical ad formula that's just going to scale to the moon? How do I find some easy drop shipping product that is just going to really kind of load up my bank account so I can go back on Instagram and start flexing about how great my marketing agency really is? When in fact, more and more, we are moving, I don't want to say back towards, but we are moving towards what marketing has holistically been, marketing with a capital M. And what that is really having a value, having a service, putting that out there and having people really understand that. And establishing a culture, establishing a community for your brand is kind of the first step in really kind of making that happen. So absolutely, affiliate marketing is going to do nothing but improve in today's landscape. Now, you recently launched a newsletter, Is Affiliate Marketing Eating the World, which you emphasize the power of affiliate marketing. Where can we find that, and what can we expect from that newsletter?
Yeah, thank you so much, Luca. So we're coming up on our 32nd issue on our weekly newsletter. Last week we talked about this concept of, is affiliate kind of eating the world or maybe the media buyer portfolio, better stated. We publish on Beehive. We posted to it on my link tree. We posted through our Round Barn Labs website, so it's accessible there through our learning section. But essentially, it's been a really interesting way to kind of communicate with folks, and I feel like people have responded reasonably well, excited about kind of getting updates and such. But I would say that the thought around this was that there was a recent study, and I give credit to Brooke Schaff, who is a affiliate industry leader. He's been on our pod, and he's talked a lot about how there's been studies out there that programmatic, as as effective as it can be,
Mm-hmm.
has like 13 billion in what is considered fraud out of its 90 plus billion. And I think there's some apples to oranges comparisons in the data. So we have to look into that and make sure it's right. But essentially, what we're saying here is the affiliate size, the affiliate marketing pie is estimated, obviously underscore estimated, is actually estimated to be similar size to the amount of fraud in programmatic. How ridiculous! How crazy! And
Wow.
so it's kind of like, yeah, it's like what? How is one channel, quote unquote, because we try not to refer to it as a channel,
Hmm.
that large? There seems to be something off there. And so, hypothesis is there's an opportunity for affiliate, and I think that's accurate. You kind of touched on it, Luca. It's like affiliate. I think is I've been saying this quite a lot. It's the most underrated, it's the most misunderstood channel. It is oftentimes the most efficient. We talk to a lot of clients. We look under the hood of a lot of programs and multi-channel um, marketing campaigns, and we see, wow, what's your most efficient channel? Oftentimes it can be affiliate. It has to be managed appropriately. We have to look at attribution. We have to look at incrementality. We've got to utilize tools like Northbeam to make sure that's the case. A little plug there. But that theory of that newsletter is what we were shocked to see that there was that much fraud. And YouTube kind of recently came out with something similar. So you've probably seen that where every few years there's a big kind of case of like, oh my, why
Hmm.
are we seeing this? And I think, hey, let's be honest. Affiliate isn't exactly pristine in its reputation either. If you allow the players to operate incorrectly, there can be issues in affiliate as well. There can be issues in fraud, just like any potential D2C channel, so or digital channel rather. So I think it still presents a really big opportunity when you can recruit an army of partners. You can go multi-channel. You can have all these different content partners. You can actually be operating in search and social in some ways via media buyers on a CPA basis, and you can get this like very very protected, defensible channel, if you will, because you're not
Sure.
just relying on one source. You're relying on multiple sources.
Sure. Sure. And particularly, post iOS 14, when attribution is sort of an absolute nightmare, you have,
Mm-hmm.
major players like Meta and Google. Everybody's trying to go claim their degree of attribution using, not enough information. And I think, the affiliate channel is amongst the greatest victims of not the impact, but just the reporting of that impact, because you don't necessarily have, Johnny Influencer, having the power and the equity to really push that. But we know that when you have that engagement, when you're able to identify the culture of what your brand is, and then you find that culture, you find those ambassadors, you find those sources that are speaking to those customers, then you're associating your brand with that culture. And that's the first step at really establishing, a lifetime value for your brand with those partners.
Yeah,
You also,
totally.
yeah, you also stress that affiliate marketing is more powerful than ever, especially in today's advertising environment. Beyond kind of what you just highlighted, why today more so than ever before?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think for a while you had, and rightfully so, a little bit of a perception that it was a lot of lower funnel, that it was a lot of coupon and deal, there was a lot of cash back. There's elements of that that exist, but we've seen an explosion in the last 5 years of really high quality content sites. We've seen an explosion of influencers, which I feel are certainly part of that partner marketing ecosystem. And I think that understandably, right, a lot of us are receptive to what you tell me to go buy, or what a pair of shoes or a shirt that you've really liked and appreciated. As a result, you've seen that explosion of user generated content through all the paid social ads that we were well aware of, right? It's a
Yeah.
similar kind of psychology around kind of how customers are engaging with partner marketing, affiliate marketing, influencer marketing. You're going to be probably more likely to respond to something that's coming from a influencer, quote unquote, than a brand. Not always, but often, right? And so I think that it kind of, we talk about it a lot as a flywheel effect. In the newsletter, I did a series of about, I don't know, 6 or 7, I think it was 6 uh, episodes, basically breaking out how to build a flywheel effect for a brand. And part of that was getting that social proof out of the influencer and an affiliate channel, tapping that for your brand on top of the other efforts you're using, like UGC in your paid social ads to do that. Why not? Why not get an influencer contracted, working? Maybe it starts with a gift, it becomes a paid engagement, maybe it becomes an affiliate link, and then you've kind of got an opportunity to really, use that as distributed content through your paid social ads through a contracted whitelisting, right? So it's a tactic that people are aware of, but I think it can be used over the long haul. It's generally a longer, a little bit slower moving channel than something like search social, but you develop those relationships that are real. I think people are clearly clamoring for that right now. And so I think it's an opportunity to kind of diversify, but also add. And we've seen brands get 30% of their revenue out of affiliate influencer. We've seen brands get, it may start out as, 10, may get up to 20. It does take time. It's not an overnight process, but it can happen. So the value is certainly there.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think often brands are intimidated by the infrastructure because they think, I need to get Kim Kardashian if I'm going to have anything. And then I'm going to put, my entire next 3 years marketing budget on one post. But that isn't the case. More and more we're seeing micro influencers or
100%.
content creators excelling in the industry. And with that, you get a chance to kind of have this, what I call this triple dip value. Because on the face value, the influencer posts on their page and you have a source that you haven't had before posting about your brand to a new audience that has, that perceives genuine intent. Then you have the ability to run that post as a media buying campaign, whether that be a spark ad or whatever that may be. Lastly, you have that content now that if that content creator gives you a certain piece, a gem that you can now use, you can build your direct campaigns directly from Meta, from TikTok with that content. And now you are shaping out your content portfolio entirely.
I love that. It's
Yeah.
been central to our theory for years now, and it just continued to play out. Like we talk about the RBL flywheel and creating a flywheel for your brand, and it's basically like killer landing pages, killer content from influencers, whitelist those highlight reel of content from people raving about your brand, not you, and consumers respond, and it shows up in the data.
Yeah, absolutely. Data, great segue, because that's going to lead to my next question. For many affiliates, it's of course hard to measure. What's your favorite way to track, test, and report on affiliate marketing today?
Totally. We've been a huge fan of Impact. We've used any and all networks and affiliate networks. They've really invested a ton. They've acquired a ton. They've been good partners, and they're continuing to work and improving on that. It's really important to have a platform that's going to pay out well. We've had a lot of success in other platforms as well, and we're constantly learning and expanding our knowledge around those. We've used almost any platform you can think of. There's new ones coming out constantly, so we're keeping an eye on them. I would say that from a attribution perspective, we certainly love what we see and we can do within Northbeam. There's a lot of opportunity to understand. Yeah, God, it's real. Like I think look, 9-figure operators are no joke. They're talking about it. A lot of our brands are tapping into Northbeam even before we come into the picture and recommend. I would say that there's obviously, we love giving feedback. We're always giving feedback on things that we're looking to improve and add. But like, there's a lot of great visibility into the platform in Northbeam. We can see how these channels interacting. I think the interesting thing for us is having a number of our teammates coming from the data science side, having a number of our teammates coming in from the paid ad side, like classic, running meta ads and such. I think it gives a good perspective on how affiliate can be run in a more holistic, multi-channel, data-driven way, as opposed to kind of like just relationship management and just relationship and report. It's more than that, and it can be more than that. And as I said earlier, you've got this opportunity now to run directly, with media buyers on Google, Meta, and TikTok. It's like might as well having an understanding of how those channels interact on something like a Northbeam um, is really important because it allows you to kind of see that, hold that higher accountability rather than just saying, here's platform data, that's it. We want to be able to have a little higher rigor and be a little bit more, I think, brand centric in that way. Like as if we were managing, we were in house with the team alongside them.
Yeah, yeah. The opportunity to explore these engagements through different attribution models can really just make you look at how people are engaging through an entirely different lens. We have a few minutes left. I think we are going to run maybe a couple minutes over because I did want to get these questions out. So we'll hit this as the lightning round. So first, we have brands big and small on this call. Can you speak a little bit about big brands, affiliate marketing versus little brands, and what are some of the best practices and kind of pitfalls to avoid?
Yeah, I love talking pitfalls. Brands, one pitfall is you're going to treat it like a search or social. It's more of uh, a large cruise ship than a little speedboat. It's going to take a little longer to be a little bit more thoughtful, a little bit more long term, a little bit more thinking monthly, quarterly, yearly at times than the speed and agility that some of the more programmatic channels operate
Sure.
on, more relationship based. A lot of brands kind of apply hey, it behaves like X when it really doesn't. That's one I would call out.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Anything that you've noticed that maybe a small brand or big brand should be focused on?
Yeah, I think that small brands can conversely get into trouble when they believe that affiliate or influencer can kind of kickstart their demand gen or their performance marketing efforts. It's possible, but it's not common. And I think having pretty proven out, do things that don't scale, product market fit, getting some sandbox testing around Meta and Google, really good starting points. And once you have one of those channels kind of dialed in, then it probably makes a lot of sense. The reason for that is a lot of these affiliate partners are really putting their skin in the game and themselves on the line to some extent. And so they're going to need to see like a lot of these things firing on all cylinders, things like offers, conversion rates, promotional strategies. Without that, they want to have that confidence. So it's not that you have to be perfect, but to get out there and um, be promoting them, I think that you want to have some wins and tests under your belt to enable them to be
Yeah.
successful.
Yeah, I love that. The perspective of the affiliates. I think so often that we look at social media as this broad scheme of things and we almost reduce an affiliate to this sort of like inhumane category, but really they're putting their name on the line. They're putting everything they built on the line. You have to make sure that the incentive for them aligns and that there's a realistic understanding as to sort of what can happen and what could emerge out of this mutual partnership.
Real quick, Luca, I just want to
Sure.
share one little bonus tip. There's such an unlock of value if you can really work with those affiliate partners that are invested with you and you're invested with them. You got the right people working on it. You can learn a ton because they've seen so much. They're savvy marketers, a lot of them, and
Mm.
oftentimes they're on the innovative end of the spectrum, early adopters of tactics and things. So if you give them the rules, the parameters, they can go forth and conquer. You can learn a ton by really managing and tapping into them well, as opposed to, hey, Meta, Google, other programmatic channels, you're gonna be getting the data back, great, but it's kind of black and white there. It's really the acumen you have on your growth team, on your performance marketing team. But with an affiliate, you can learn kind of some untapped
Yeah.
potential exponential things if you unlock it.
Yeah, and that relationship with the affiliate, if you treat them well, if you take their input in stride, then that affiliate is so much deeper a part of your organization. So opposed to kind of this one sort of content push, you have a greater chance of that affiliate actually incorporating your product into their lifestyle, which means there's a greater chance of them posting that content organically or just speaking to that from the heart as opposed to just from the job itself. I think that accounts for that one question. The next question I was going to ask, which was parting pieces of advice. So we're going to land that. The last thing I want to leave the audience with is how can people get in touch with you? Socials, podcasts, newsletters. I want to know more about affiliates. How do I do that?
Yeah, I think honestly that the newsletter has been a really good source of information. We're on Beehive, it's the flywheel. at the Round Barn Labs website. It's probably super easy. You can kind of go
Sure.
through the learning section. And I'm pretty active on LinkedIn and Twitter. So would love to engage, love to answer questions you have. Happy to help. Getting a ton of people coming forth, especially now as people get things ready for holiday in Q4. It's a bit of a push, an exciting push right now for us. So happy to connect.
Yeah, absolutely. LinkedIn name, that's obvious. Twitter handle, is that just going to be your name?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, hey, I'm already a follower, but I'll be sure to continue to engage with your post. Ty, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for being my first webinar. I'm looking forward to having our 1 year anniversary next year when I've got 100 of these under my belt. It's been an absolute pleasure. All the best.
You nailed it. Thank you, Luca.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
everyone.
Thank you, everybody, for joining and hanging out. Please drop some comments. Let us know what we can do better. We're here to support you. So thank you so much and have a great day. Bye.